What's up, people? We are back with more of Danganronpa Chapter 6. This is going to be the final class trial of this game, the final showdown, the final battle, hope versus despair. Who's gonna come out victorious? Let's find out by entering this huge freaking red door and doing this for the last and final time. I guess I'm the first one this time.
Makoto.
You're early, Makoto.
Listen.
Does that mean you feel prepared? Yeah, for now at least. But where's everyone else? Why aren't they here yet? Is everyone still avoiding me?
However...
Don't worry, I'm sure they'll be here soon. And just like she said... Byakuya... Byakuya! Byakuya? They arrived, one after another, but they were all in the same state of shock. Hina? Hero? Did we all get brainwashed or something? Nah, they're probably just in shock of the picture, right? Silence. And it wasn't any normal silence. It was the deafening silence of fear and suspicion. It was like the first class trial.
You called for me and so I appear.
I'm late.
I'm on fire.
Strong silent master, so wonderful. So cool, so hot. My loins are ablaze.
Yes!
Now listen, everyone. Everything will be just fine if you leave it to me.
My beautiful scissors!
With my scissor-sharp scissors in hand. Scissor-sharp? Okay. I'll stab and gout and shift the master of evil. But I thought you couldn't kill anyone but adorable little boys. If that's what master wants, it can be boy, girl, or anything in between. I can handle it. Uh-oh. Where am I? No human language can describe the disappointment I'm feeling right now. I know, right? That people like Toko, Hero, are, representing hope for the entire freaking world. Is everyone here? Oh, and wearing our gloomy Gus faces, I see.
Well now.
Well then, let's begin.
Thrills, chills, kills!
This is the final class trial, and it's going to be slathered in pitch black despair. Maximum sorrow.
That's fine.
You're right. This is the final class trial, and this time, it'll be fair. What do you mean, this time? Stop with all the slander. I'm a bear in good standing,
Unbelievable.
If there was a Mr. Fair Guy Universe contest, I'd take home the tiara every year. Why would they give away a tiara for a Mr. Fair Guy Universe contest, though? I'm gonna win this super fair and square.
Today, I'm feeling white.
And I'll make sure everyone watching at home knows that despair is mightier than the hope.
Stop talking.
Enough of your tedious drivel. Begin the trial already. Sure. Let's begin the trial already. I'll be waiting for you down below.
You guys.
So don't try and run away. Oh, we know that's not gonna work, so why would we even try it? Laughing as loud as ever. Monokuma disappeared. Whatever.
In the name of my family.
This will be over in no time. With an inexplicable confidence, Byakuya was the first into the elevator. One by one, the others followed. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. There's no need to say anything. Nobody made eye contact. Nobody said a word. They just disappeared into the elevator.
Hey.
They're all acting odd. Like they're paranoid. Suspicious of each other.
However,
But you know what it is, don't you? Yeah, I think so.
however,
Well, you can tell us all about it soon. At the class trial. You're right. I'm ready.
so...
Ready to win. Right? Of course. I'm glad to hear you say that. And then Kyoko was aboard the elevator. Well, I started making my way towards the opening. Our final time going down the elevator. I don't know why I'm acting so nostalgic. Oh, this is the final time we're entering the red door. Final time we're going down the elevator. Step after step towards that gaping maw. I resolved that this would be the last time. I repeated to myself that there was no fear, no mystery left. I pushed the anxiety down, calmed my trembling body, and finally, on steady legs, I passed the threshold and stood in the elevator. Here we go again, here we go again. Without warning, it began to descend. Deeper and deeper. 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 Deeper still. Yeah, it's very deep. Okay, I get the point, it's very fucking deep. Deeper and deeper, it fell. I closed my eyes, and sight fell away. All sound, too, disappeared. Alone in the universe, I waited for the elevator doors to open for the last time. What could have been seconds, or centuries later, I felt the gentle vibration of the elevator come to an end. I slowly opened my eyes. This is the final trial slide? What is with the TVs and stuff?
What do you think? Isn't it just the perfect background for deciding a person's fate?
Yahoo!
It is a long-awaited last stage. The always exciting final boss battle. And I'm gonna sit in on this one. I'll just sit right here in the vacant 16th seat.
What? Oh, this is something he's never done before, so why now? If the seat were only for the students, why now? Oh, something ain't right here. That's gotta mean something. He's not doing this for fun. He's just like, yeah, blah, 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 I can do what I want. I'm just gonna sit on the 16th seat. No. I don't think so. I mean, remember in those like fridges in the bio lab? Like, I'm pretty sure there were 7 still, like, you know, 7 of those fridges that weren't filled, and therefore the light wasn't on. And there were like 9 in total with the lights on, and one of them actually was Mukuro. So that seemed to point out that, you know, one that the persons that is supposedly dead, the body is not in there, right? Unless I just made a math error, it could be that too, but I don't know.
Thrills, chills, kills!
Well then, let's begin!
Alright, we got a bunch of new freaking clues, I think. Yep, alright, let's go over this very, very quickly. Monokuma file, the only sort of interesting thing was the fact that everything else was sort of covered except the fact that the body was covered with other wounds, but these were at least several days old. Places to check. Kind of interesting that this is actually in here, but it's basically just a list of the places we wanted to check for this trial, as well as places that were previously locked and now we have access to. Monokuma control room. This was actually the fact that, you know, this is where the headmaster, or the mastermind rather, god dang it, the mastermind is controlling Monokuma from, so that basically confirmed Kyoko's theory about, you know, not being able to check, spy on us, or to monitor us, as well as controlling Monokuma at the same time. So yeah, there was like this secret hatch there where he was actually hiding when me and Hina were in that room. So yeah, that's just where he's controlling the Monokuma robot from. The tarp, that was the tarp that was used to cover up Mukuro's body, and it had the label Biolab on it. So this is really interesting, you know. This is the fact that this tarp came from the biolab, which at the point of the murder, or like before the murder, or whenever, you know, that whole scenario played out where we found supposedly Mukuro's body in the garden, like at that point the biolab was closed. We didn't have access to it, so the only people that did have was Monokuma, Mastermind most likely, and probably Kyoko. I'm just saying that because she did say that sentence, like that she knew a way of like opening doors without that, a trick that the Mastermind uses as well, you know, so she could have possibly had access to this, but you know, something we'll figure out at some point, I guess. Mukuro Ikusaba's profile. Mukuro didn't have a single scar or wound when she came into, right. That's the thing, right? Wait. Mukuro did not have a single scar or wound when she came to Hope's Peak Academy, but the body did have old wounds though. So that's another thing that we just sort of have to think, like, when did those wounds actually occur then? And is it actually Mukuro's body? Because those are two big differences. Like, sure, those wounds could have occurred during her stay at Hope's Peak, but we have no way of knowing that just yet, so that's an interesting, at least, possible point to bring up during the class trial. The vitals were 31, 22, 32. Kyoko has confirmed that the corpse matches these characteristics. Ultimate despair was that the fact that there were multiple people rather than just one single person, one individual. 1 year ago, that group brought about single worst events, so that's the tragedy. They are motivated only by despair, making them some of the most despicable people ever to live. Hidden room present, yeah, that was the skull, the bones of whatever the fuck was left of the headmaster, aka Kyoko's father. So the fact that there's a crack on the skull there is really interesting to me, but I'm not sure if that's actually, you know, worthy of pointing out during the class trial, but we'll find out. This photo was kind of weird, like, you know, it sort of it proves a possible other side to the headmaster than what Kyoko originally thought about her father for all these years. So yeah, that's gonna be kind of weird. Headmaster, in case of emergency, that is how we opened up those whatchamacallit, the lockers that was in the on the second floor dormitories, and that actually led to like proof in a way, or at least we saw stuff that seems to hint towards the fact that those lockers actually belong to the people that are here at school right now, and that they were here at this school before. But there's a bunch of other proof that seems to suggest that, just as the locker notebook, kind of similar, the fact that it belongs to Hiro. This, the locker pocketbook, which is Kyoko's, and then that sort of interesting saying, despair walks among us and so we survive. There's a second despair. Biolab secret, this was really weird, yeah, the fact that the biolab secret is actually just a morgue, and yeah, it had 16 lockers in it, which was seemingly all for us. A corpse switch has been installed, and it seems that the blue light comes on occupied. The number of lights counting the slot inside comes to a total of 9. Okay, the fact that it's pointed out in the number, I really feel like that's going to be brought up, because it doesn't match with the amount of people that are alive and the amount of people that are dead. Group photo, this was the weirdest fucking thing, that everybody was in the picture except Makoto, and even Mukuro wasn't there. But Makoto was still in that interview though, right? So that seems to suggest that Makoto was part of the school, that he isn't just someone that's been brought into this that has nothing to do with all the prior events to this. So I'm not sure how that's exactly going to match up. This is probably going to be interesting because it had something to do with what happened in the biolab. The fact that the memory of Genocide Jack and Toko don't transfer over, so they are completely separate individual, right? It would seem while Toko and Genocide Jack share certain fundamental knowledge, their individual memories are separate. Indeed, Kyoko's account, the last one, what did Kyoko have to say? Attest that both the stab wound and the blow to the head were inflicted after death, alright? That's definitely sort of what we thought at the beginning as well, or at least that we confirmed after the Monokuma file in our investigation. So that's really like the only interesting thing about the body, is the fact that it couldn't possibly couldn't be Mukuro, or those old wounds, you know. So the DVD Kyoko found contained interviews between the headmaster and all of Hope's big students. Makoto, however, had no such memory of such interview. Thanks to Monokuma's interference, Makoto wasn't able to watch the DVD all the way through, so meaning there was probably more on there that he didn't want us to see. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Set skills, do we actually are able to put in any of this? I don't know, I don't really care. We'll do fine without it, and then we'll just finish preparations and let's get the show on the fucking road. Final time, let's go.
Since
I'm ready.
this will be the final class trial, I've come up with a special rule.
Of course.
So listen up! If you can figure out Mukuro's killer and go on to solve the mystery of this school,
You can escape.
you guys win!
I thought that was already established. That's not necessarily a new rule, right?
But if you can't,
Unless this is part of the new rule, of course.
then I win! And of course, waiting for the loser is the super exciting, super heart-pounding punishment!
Yay, I can't wait.
Are you saying that if you lose, you'll execute yourself?
Oh.
Yep, sure will.
Oh, okay. More motivation to win. Awesome.
And that's final? No loopholes? No wiggling out of it later?
Of course not! Bears never go back on their word!
I don't know about that.
Never mind all that. I just have one question for you.
Oh, you're taking this serious, huh?
Yeah.
Are you feeling okay?
Is the Mastermind only one person?
No.
Don't bother. I already know the answer.
What is with Hero's tone? He talks so strange. Like, this is not the hero that we know. Has he been acting stupid this entire time? It's like, no guys, I was just acting. I'm smart all along. I know what was going on here, okay?
You're all the Mastermind, aren't you?
Never fucking
You're all out to
mind.
get me.
Never mind, Hero. Forever an idiot.
I'm right, aren't I? I knew it.
Yeah, you're right, okay. In your own little world, you're right, Hero. You're always right. You're a special little butterfly, okay? Alright. What are we gonna do? Oh, he wants to see places to check headmaster's handbook.
You guys have all been working together, haven't you? I have evidence, so I know I'm right.
Hey, you stole my line. You're all out to get me. I'm sure of it. I have evidence of my own.
What? Have they
What a
all been provided
coincidence.
different
I
evidence?
too have evidence to present.
What?
Evidence that proves everyone other than me has been working together.
What? Wait, hold on. This doesn't make any sense. How can the three of us each have that kind of evidence?
Really? All three of them think that everyone around them is their enemy. There's no doubt this is a trap Monokuma has set. Is that seriously just a Photoshop picture with everyone on it except the person that they gave it to? So for example, the picture that he gave to Makoto, it has everyone on it except Makoto. And the picture he gave to Byakuya, everyone is on it except Byakuya, and so forth, you know? Because why else would everybody think that they have proof that everybody else is working against them? He set it up so we would suspect each other. And I have something that proves it, right? That's gotta be the group picture.
You guys have all been working together, haven't you?
I have evidence!
Hey, you
it
you're
was the
all out
last
to get
one, I
me. I
believe.
have evidence.
What a coincidence. Evidence that proves What? This doesn't make any sense.
The three of us.
Damn.
No, that's wrong.
It's not just you three. I have evidence too.
But that's stupid. Why would he give that picture, an altered picture, to every single one with like a different picture on it? I mean, it could be that it's real, but how could that possibly be real though? Unless they all made pictures. They made let's say 16 pictures, in which case every person had, you know, take the picture at least once. If you know what I mean, you know, so that every person that's eventually in the picture is missing in one picture at least. I probably didn't word it that right, but I think you know what I mean. But it's just, I don't know, cause like giving that picture to every single one of us is like, it's so contradictory, right? If you just give it to one person, then that one person is going to be questioning everyone, And the others are just like, okay, what the fuck's going on? But at least that person doesn't know that he's going to be wrong, because there's not really any conflicting or contradictory evidence that the other people have. Like, for example, they all say they have it, but yeah, I have it too. Look, mine's different.
What? You too?
And then I don't know what Monokuma's plan with it. There's gotta be more to it than just this. Like, I feel like this will be resolved within 5 minutes. It's like, okay, yeah, we all have different pictures. Okay, well, that's fucking Monokuma then. We got it from Monokuma, right? So, there's gotta be more to it than that.
The evidence you're all referring to is this group photo, right?
Well, yeah. Huh? Wait, but mine's different. With the picture you have, I'm in it.
Yes. Did he really do
But that can't be right. Because in my picture...
What?
See? I'm the only one not in it.
Look at Sakura. Sakura's gotta be like a lap or 20 or something ahead of all of us. Oh my god, look at Hifumi. Holy shit. Oh my god, I never realized he was that fat. Okay, yeah, everyone is in this team. But this is a totally different picture though. Why does Celeste seem like she's just a ghost standing in the background, you know? Everybody else just exercising, participating. Celeste is just there like, yes. I don't know, really creepy. I figured as much. In which case...
Hiro, you have a picture too, right? Let's see it.
But they're all pictures of different events though, so it's not like it's been purposely... I mean, it's probably been purposefully made by this, but it's not in a way that it's like obvious that it's like, you know, it's the exact same picture and then the heads are altered out or something. It's not something that you can say like it's altered or edited or photoshopped or whatever. It's just a quote-unquote convenient picture with everyone in it except that person who they gave it to. Therefore, they start to question like, well, wait, why am I not in it, but everyone else is?
Okay, but be careful with it. It's pretty important evidence.
Yeah, don't worry. This is a different picture as well. This one too. It's just like I thought. Everyone in it. Yep.
So the secret in these pictures has been revealed.
Secret or whatever, I don't care. You guys are all in on this together. That's why I'm the only one missing.
But you're in my picture.
Yeah. This is what I mean. This is so contradictory.
You're the ones trying to trick me.
I mean, at one point, people are just going to realize, right? And then they'll turn to Monokuma. Or they should, at least.
So the whole purpose behind these photos was to get us questioning and fighting with each other. The Mastermind laid a trap to make us each think everyone else was working against us.
Huh? I laid a trap?
I mean, I'm pretty sure Monokuma is just going to play it off as like, you know, these are just school pictures. I just managed to, you know, conveniently give you one where you yourself aren't in it. But I feel like this is probably like a bunch of pictures out of a huge album, you know? Considering there were also, you saw those pictures with just 3 of your students, like, what was the first one? With Mondo, Chihiro, and Leon in it. I feel like there's just a bunch of pictures, and he just conveniently picked that one. Ah, Hiro isn't in this picture, I'll give this picture to Hiro. And so forth.
A trap? How rude! What grounds do you have for such audacious accusations?
To prove, I need to reveal Monokuma's trap. Each photo has a certain something in common. There's a connection regarding what person isn't shown in the photos. And that person is Toko Monokuma, the one who got the photos.
I got it! In each case, the only one not in the picture is the person who received it. So, in the picture I got, I'm the only one missing. In the picture Hina got, she's the only one missing. And in the picture Hiro got, he's the only one missing.
As long as we're talking about it, I suppose I should show you my photo as well.
Yes. Swimming pool, oh yeah. Holy shit, did you saw Sakura?
In other words, Monokuma gave each of us a group photo in which that person wasn't included.
You gotta go back and pause there. Sakura freaking punched the giant fish in the air in the swimming pool. What the hell is a fish like that? What is a fish doing in the swimming pool in the first place, let alone one of that huge freakishly size?
And when we each saw our picture, we just assumed everyone else was the enemy?
Yep.
Figured it out, huh?
But that's like too easy. See, this is what I mean. 5 minutes and then we're done. Now I'll move on to the next one. Is that really? That's not all. That is to Monokuma's plan, right?
Yeah, I thought that must be it. But how was that a hint?
Yeah. But you know, there might be more to this than just Monokuma trying to confuse us. There's something else that bothers me about everyone's pictures. What is it? What's digging at me?
Listen, can I see everyone's group photo one more time? It's not directly connected to what we're talking about, but I'd like to double check something.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah, I don't mind.
I'm sure there's something unusual about these group photos. What is it? I need to compare each of them one more time. Byakuya's picture, look at that. Holy shit, that fish. Hina's picture. Hiro's picture. Is it about the fact that we're just all at school, you know, living a school life, happy school life, like we're just normal students? And mine. Oh, I actually didn't pay attention. Was Mukuro in all the other pictures too? I didn't pay attention to that. She must be. There's something strange about all of them. Something I can't quite pin down. Something. Group photo's been added to the truth bullets section of your
Can you just
handbook.
forget about the photo already? Ugh. Trying to trick me with such an obviously fake photo? I'm still pissed about that.
And on top of that, they went to all that trouble to make it look like we were wearing matching uniforms.
Those pictures gotta be real. I don't think it's a trick.
So you think they're fake? No, I assure you, they're quite real.
That's what I'm scared of. Like, I'm pretty sure they're real as well, but like, how could they possibly be real though? That's the thing that, you know, I'm struggling with and trying to figure out. How are they real? What circumstances would lead that those pictures are real and would lead us into the situation that we are now, with us not exactly remembering or actually remembering at all that we had done that we were in that position, that we had taken those pictures, that we had lived that school life all together. I mean, the obvious thing is something like amnesia, or they just you know, not sucked our brain out, what I was about to say, but you know, that we lost our memory or something along those lines. And it's gotta go back to like the point where we all fainted, I guess? Or that part of the memory has been wiped out, I don't know.
What are you talking about? There's no way!
Yeah! I don't remember ever taking a picture like that. So it's gotta be a fake! I'm sure of it!
Now they question it? That was not the first thing they questioned?
But you know, can we really be so sure?
Huh?
We think it's real, and we kinda know it's real because we saw the video as well, right? They didn't.
Don't get me wrong,
The DVD.
I don't remember taking this picture either. But is that really enough to be absolutely positive they're fake?
What do you mean?
The reason I don't remember this picture isn't necessarily because it's fake. There might be some other reason. Some terrible reason. An unbelievable, but entirely horrifying reason. Hangman's Gambit. What is it? A and I. Oh, amnesia, of course. And E. S. Give me the S. We need an A up in this house.
Now I understand. Let's say that somehow we'd all lost our memories. That could explain it, couldn't it?
Yes.
Oh, I get it. So we all just lost our memories at the same time and forgot about the photo. Makes sense.
How is it that a theory like this that actually kind of makes sense, you know? I mean, it sounds pretty far-fetched, but hearing it come out of the mouth of Hiro just makes it sound so fucking ridiculous that I don't even believe in it myself anymore. But it can be true. But just hearing Hiro say it is like, oh, what? No, wait, that doesn't sound right at all. But I mean, so we all, yeah. I mean, it sounds too convenient, right? That we all just lost our memories at the same time. But that's got a point that we didn't necessarily lose it, as someone made us lose it, you know? We didn't lose it on our own accord, although you never really lose your memory on your own accord, I imagine. But you know what I mean, right? They did that to us. They are the cause for us losing our memories, and those particular memories of that time in our life.
As if! You expect me to believe such an unbelievable occult-type story?
If anyone would, you should.
Yeah, we all lost our memories? That's just crazy.
It's only natural that they wouldn't believe it. But no matter how much they refuse, if that's the absolute truth, they have no choice. We can't move forward until they accept it. And there's another way to prove it besides those pictures. Oh, that's gotta be the DVD. Control room, Mukuro Ikusaba, profile group photo. E-handbook could be, but that would be
we all
indirectly.
got
I think it's
spontaneous
the
amnesia? Since when did this turn into some kind of sci-fi fantasy?
I promise you, I haven't lost my memory. Ever since I got to this school, I remember everything that's happened.
So the idea that we all lost our memories.
Is totally stupid, obviously.
Hina said she remembered everything, but she doesn't. No, that can't be true. Then she. No, I don't believe that. There must be more evidence than those pictures that we all lost our memories.
You're saying
We all got spots. Since
one.
when did this turn into...
I promise you,
not
ever since
hard to
I
choose.
remember
Everything that...
No, that's wrong. Those photos aren't the only things that point to the possibility of memory loss. This DVD does the same thing.
Yep.
You're not gonna show us something indecent, are you?
No.
No, it's nothing like that.
Although we do have 3 TVs here. Or 4, maybe even more.
It's a video of all of us being interviewed by the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster.
when you say all of us, you mean...
All of us, yeah.
I mean all of us, including you.
You lie! I never did any kind of interview.
No, it's not a lie. Just watch the DVD and you'll see for yourself. The headmaster did, in fact, interview you.
Yep. Dun dun dun.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that it's real
I didn't imagine you would remember.
because amnesia.
It's not about whether or not I remember. You expect me to believe all this? That I lost my memory somehow?
Well, we don't have any way to refute it, so we have no choice but to accept it as reality.
Thank you for being reasonable, Byakuya.
How can you say that? We're talking about living, breathing amnesia here!
Is there a dead, unbreathing amnesia?
To be honest, I have something else on my mind right now.
What is that?
Something else?
You said the DVD contains recordings of us being interviewed by the headmaster, right?
Yeah.
What were the interviews about?
Giving consent that we could possibly have to stay at this school forever?
The headmaster sat each of us down, one at a time, and asked us the same question. He asked us if we could accept the idea of spending the rest of our lives in this school.
What kind of question is that?
And how did we answer?
We'd say no, obviously.
Would you really be here if you said no, Hero?
Actually, we all said we could.
But that's a strange thing, right? Why did they all said they could? Because it's not an easy decision to make. It's not something that you can just say on the whim or just like, yeah, sure, why not? I couldn't possibly imagine what reasoning they would have with the information that we have at the moment.
Even me. I heard myself say yes. I could spend the rest of my life at this school.
Did they like bribe us with candy and like, you need everything here that you could possibly need, you know? It's even better than your own home life. I mean, that could be possible.
Why? Why would you say yes to something like that?
I don't know. I don't remember a thing.
The same goes for everyone else? Nobody remembers? You don't remember choosing to live here forever, or even talking to the headmaster about it at all.
It doesn't matter if I remember or not. Even if I bought the whole amnesia thing, the idea that I would want to live here forever? That's just insane! How can I believe that?
Insane or not, we can't move forward until you accept it. Am I right?
Yeah, otherwise we're just going to have to keep arguing this point over and over again. But we have to move forward at some point. Like, there's no other possibility that anyone else can think of. So we just... Whether they like it or not, they just have to accept it as a possibility or a possible truth right now.
You sure are, 'cause it's all true.
Well, if Monokuma says it, that's easy then. They have to believe it now.
What?
Thanks, Monokuma. This is actually the first time I'm like, yeah, he's helping us. But I guess that's why he took place on the 16 student seat. And that's probably why as well, if he loses, that's why he feels like he can get punished, because now he's participating in the class trial as well, right? He has to. Otherwise he wouldn't be sitting there.
I know it sounds absurd, but if it's the truth, there's nothing we can do about it.
Indeed. We only have one path in front of us.
Then, I really...
Yep.
Yep, you all totally lost your memory at the same time.
This is all making my head hurt.
And this isn't like some normal kind of memory loss. You stole those specific memories from us, didn't you?
Oopsie, you figured that part out too, huh?
Well, duh.
Of course. There's no way we would all just happen to get amnesia at the same time.
But how could someone just steal our memories?
How? Come, that hardly matters right now.
Yeah, let's not go into details about that.
If I said it was hypnotism, would you believe me? Or we opened up your skulls and messed with your brains?
Like, to be honest, as much as, you know, he is right about that though, like, it doesn't matter how, right? It's the matter, the point that matters is that it happens.
Would you really believe anything I said? How it happened doesn't matter right now.
What matters is figuring out what memories you took from us. That's what you're trying to say, right?
I knew I could count on you.
The interview with the headmaster, taking that group photo, those can't be the only memories we lost.
I'm pretty sure we were students here before and during the tragedy. It has to be, right? I mean, definitely before, because this is at the Hope Speak Academy for sure, otherwise the interview wouldn't be with the headmaster. and the tragedy is what caused the school to close down. So everything after that, the school wasn't normal anymore. So those pictures definitely couldn't have been taken during tragedy, so or after the tragedy. So yeah, we were definitely students at that point here. So that most likely has something to do with the fact that why our memories are stolen or lost. I think
There must have been a purpose to it all. A reason for taking away our memories.
I think it's the tragedy.
Of course there was a purpose. It all has to do with the original motive.
To preserve the hope or something? The original motive?
You mean the motive you came up with? To try and get us to all kill each other?
No, that's the motive of the masterminds.
That has something to do with the memories you stole from us?
It sure does.
It does? Yeah, but that's because of the sort of battle, right? The point that the masterminds and Monokuma are trying to prove, that despair wins from hope, basically.
But that part's still a secret. Anyway, I'm sure it's not easy, but let's all focus on the class trial for the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
Okay, so you want us to figure out who killed her before we do anything else.
So until we do that, well, either way, we have to explain every last remaining mystery. So, the one who killed Mukuro, whatever, the true mastermind, that's what we need to expose. Control room, profile, message, handbook.
So who did it? Who killed her?
Whoever did it is the same one who's behind everything. That much I'm sure of.
But when you think about it, is the mastermind really here in the school?
Yes.
Of course! They have to be here somewhere.
What makes you so sure?
What does make me so sure?
Exactly.
Not a contradiction,
You're
man.
just making stuff up. There's no way the mastermind is here. The mastermind is probably 1,000,000 miles away.
Oh no, he's in the...
Because
control room.
masterminds always lurk off in the background, right?
Okay, he's in the control room for sure. I'm positive there's somewhere in this school, or at least one part of the mastermind. Because we think it's multiple people, right? Unless there's like a huge freaking room underneath that hatch, you know? And all the masterminds are just taking shifts like, oh yeah, it's my turn right now, okay. Otherwise, there's no way they could have controlled that machine. But that's the weird thing, right? If there are multiple masterminds, why did our theory was proven right about the fact that they can't monitor us and control Monokuma at the same time? It's true that one person couldn't do that, but if the theory about the mastermind is that it's multiple people, then they technically could, right? So why was that theory proven right, or we thought that it's right, that they can't monitor and control Monokuma at the same time? Huh. Right,
So who did
it? The last
Whoever
one?
did it is
Control
the
room.
stat much I...
But when you is the mastermind.
Of course, they have to be...
What makes you?
Exactly. You're just making the
Mastermind is probably...
No, he's not.
No, that's wrong. There's no question that the mastermind is somewhere within the school.
How do you know? Did you find some evidence or something?
In the back of the data center, I found a panel that controls Monokuma. The mastermind must have been using that to control him all this time.
And he's gotta be using that right now too.
So there can't be any doubt. The mastermind has been inside the school all along.
There can't be any doubt. In which case, there also can be no doubt that the mastermind is one of us.
I wouldn't say no doubt, but I still think the possibility is there, yeah.
What? Why?
Recall what Makoto told us Monokuma said to him earlier.
I'm sure I told you this already, but
This killing game began with 16 participants and all of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak Academy since the killing game began are those 16 students.
So if the mastermind is in the school, we have to assume it can only be that 16th student.
But that, I think... I don't know.
How'd they manage to survive all of this?
I don't know. I don't... Like, I'm starting to think like one of the masterminds is actually just... Okay. It could be that it's one of the students. It could just be that they pretended to be one of the students and that there was a person here all along. But that means there's sort of one extra person here that should have been here from the beginning. I don't know. This is tricky.
So we're the only ones here? It's not me! I'm not the mastermind!
No, we're the only ones that entered, right? And nobody else entered.
Well, it's not me!
Of course, nobody's gonna say it's me.
I blame Makoto!
Okay, thanks, Toko.
What? Why me?
'Cause it's super weird how you're the only one who survived being executed.
Oh, I get it! The only way he could have survived is if he was actually the mastermind himself, right?
But why would I let myself get executed if I was the mastermind in the first place? That doesn't make sense. Wouldn't I just rig it to show like, yeah, no, Makoto is not the killer. And then again, yeah, okay, you can't really rig it because the mastermind, as far as we know, has to abide by its own rules. But still, he didn't even do that because we weren't the person that killed Mukuro in the first place. Yet the class trial result of that actually said it was. So that's already fake, so yeah. But that doesn't make sense.
Aw, nuts! You got me!
No, Monokuma.
Wait! What are you trying to say?
Everyone, calm down. There's no reason to panic.
Unless the thing that I said that I thought was really ridiculous early on is that we have been the mastermind all along without us even knowing it. That would be fucked up though.
The mastermind's true identity will become clear soon enough.
I doubt it.
Just as soon as we find out who killed Mukuro.
Alright, let's do that first.
That's a good point. Rather than wasting time bickering, we should put our minds to work solving this mystery.
Step by step.
Yeah, well, how much time have we already spent talking about the murder?
He's right. What more is there to talk about?
If you want something to talk about, I think there might be one thing. We haven't fully established what Mukuro's fatal injury was.
Huh? But I thought we figured that out. She died when she got hit in the back of the head.
No, it's the other wounds,
No,
for sure.
that isn't actually what killed her.
The body
It was
died.
something entirely different.
And the body is already a couple of days dead when we actually found it. I'm pretty sure about that.
Wouldn't you agree, Makoto?
Yep. Mukuro's actual cause of death must have been the other wounds.
I got it! All of the wounds covering her body. That's what really killed her.
Hey, now hold on a second. You did read the Monokuma file, right?
Yeah, nothing in there actually says that... Nothing in there says which wound kills her. It just states all the wounds and possible injuries that are the actual injuries that the body has. But we already crossed off every single one of the list that couldn't have been the cause of death, except the other wounds. So that automatically makes it that one, right? The body was covered with other wounds, but these were at least several days old.
It made it pretty clear. Those wounds were made at least a few days ago.
Yeah, but then it makes sense that the body was dead a few days ago.
So they can't possibly be what killed her.
Consider this. What if the murder itself took place at least a few days ago?
Dun dun dun.
What?
What if, when we discovered her body, she'd already been dead for several days? If that's true, then naturally the wounds that killed her would appear to be however many days old.
That doesn't make any sense.
Of course it does.
Because she had all those wounds before she ever came here.
Oh no, she never had any wounds according to the file.
Huh? How do you know that?
Isn't it obvious? She was the ultimate soldier, right? So that means... you know...
You're wrong.
She denied me. Before I could even say anything.
We deny your existence, Toko. What?
Come on. I mean, you think I'm not weird, okay? At least listen to what I have to say before you deny me!
If you're so sure we're gonna deny you, why bother saying it in the first place? Alright, let's hear Toko out. Group photo, DVD, handbook. This is about
Mukuro was
right?
the ultimate soldier.
It's gotta be the
must have been in
profile.
100 different
This
battles.
is about Mukuro.
So, when you think about it, obviously, she got all those wounds in battle.
No.
Are you finished?
Okay, that's it.
You didn't deny me this time, Z-Wimsy. You made me go all cutesy.
Don't worry, there wasn't anything cute about it.
Oh, snap, hero! No, those wounds didn't come from the battlefield. One look at what was written about her, and that should become clear.
Mukuro was the ultimate. She must have been so. Obviously,
Profile.
She got all...
Profile said she was
No,
spotless, no
no.
wounds whatsoever.
No, Mukuro didn't suffer those wounds in battle. The file we found in the headmaster's room said as much. Despite the time she spent in battle after battle as a member of Fenrir, when she entered this school, she hadn't sustained a single injury.
I still find it so weird though that we're like, you know, arguing and in the second class trial now for a person that we have never even met and that we know nothing about. I still find it a little bit strange.
To be denied so completely. Actually, it's kind of refreshing.
Refreshing, isn't that what Master does to you all the time?
Maybe it's because of all of Master's training.
Anyway, so we can be sure that Mukuro suffered all those wounds after coming to this school. In which case, they could be the very thing that killed her.
As a matter of fact, it's hard to imagine any other possibility. When examining her body, I found that her stomach and head wounds came after she was already dead.
Unless anyone has any better suggestions, I think we can say this with confidence. The wounds Mukuro sustained all over her body are what ultimately killed her.
Mukuro's fatal injury. Didn't know she had boobs that big.
But if that's what killed her, then does that mean she's really been dead for who knows how long?
Yep.
That's exactly what it means. When we found her body in the garden, she'd already been dead for several days.
So then, what about the little matter of what happened last night? Makoto, you said you were attacked in your room by a masked assailant.
True. It could just be someone dressed as the same. I mean, it was said, you know, on the body of Mukuro, we saw that that's white robe and everything. They can just put that on her. Like the robe wasn't even put on properly on the body of Mukuro. So it definitely feels like, you know, someone else came in here. I guess the mastermind or one of the masterminds came in here trying to kill us or whatever, or trying to scare us. But we see him like this, and then we see those same things. You know, this could be anybody, just because it's hiding such big parts of its body. Like, you know, the most recognizable thing of a person is its the face, the head, stuff like that, and the body as well is being covered pretty well with that white coat. So that could be anyone. If you put those two things on anybody that's kind of similar, you would say like, yeah, okay, that would probably be it. You can know, it's hard to tell those two things apart.
If Mukuro had already been dead for several days, certainly it couldn't have been her.
No.
So who was it that attacked you?
Mastermind, I guess? the identity of the one who attacked me. I can't think of anyone else. No, the headmaster's already dead, so is the mastermind for sure. Mukuro is dead as well, as far as we know, or think.
I got it! The one who attacked me was the true mastermind. When we discovered Mukuro in the garden wearing the same mask, I naturally assumed she must have been the one who attacked me. But I was wrong. It wasn't her at all. It was the mastermind.
And I mean, it's a mask, you know? It doesn't mean that there's only one of those in the entire world, whereas when it comes to faces and heads, yeah, there's only one of you in the entire world with that. Unless you have a twin, of course, I guess. But then it's still your head and your twin's head. They look the same, but they're technically different. Amusing, is it, Monokuma?
What are you laughing at?
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just getting a little impatient sitting here listening. I think I'm gonna jump in. Let's start off with a nice, easy question.
Alright.
Your assumption that I attacked Makoto is just that, right? An assumption.
This is actually kind of strange that Monokuma is, but he has to. But as he's just participating in the class trial, you know? It just feels different, but that gives it more of a final boss feel as well, you know? Final class trial.
You can't really know who was under that mask, can you? I mean, that's the whole point of a mask.
True.
The true identity of the masked attacker is Mukuro Ikusaba! At least, that's what I think.
What you think, so you're not saying it with certainty, though. So that's an assumption on his part, too.
Do you have any evidence that might convince me otherwise?
No. There's no way Mukuro is the one that attacked me. Even if I didn't see their face. Mukuro had a very obvious fin. Oh, there's no tattoo on the hand. Right, it was on the right hand. So that is in this picture the knife, the hand which is holding the knife. So Mukuro had a very obvious Fenrir tattoo. Comparing that to the masked attacker. Yes, it didn't. It should be obvious. Monokuma file 5. Oh, that means we gotta soak up a bullet. Because it has to do with
You never saw their face, right? So you can't have any idea who was under that mask. I'm telling you now, it was Mukuro Ikusaba!
You're wrong. Even without seeing their face, there's another part of the attacker we can use to prove it wasn't her.
Oh? And what is this other part? Is it the right hand?
Or the left?
Maybe the right foot?
Right
Or
hand.
perhaps the left
What?
foot?
No, right hand!
Or could
I want the
it
right
be
hand!
The hips?
Not the right foot. Her most noticeable feature, the tattoo that marked her membership in Fenrir. That too was in a certain easy-to-spot area.
You never saw it, so
don't
you
want the right
can't have.
foot.
I'm telling you now. You're wrong. There's another part of the. Oh? Is it
The right hand?
Right
Or
hand,
the
there we
left
go.
hand? Maybe the. Or perhaps. Or could it be the hand?
Monokuma sounds
You
really
never
weird when
saw their
it's sped up
So
though.
you can't have. I'm telling.
Telling you now, it.
No.
No, that's wrong. Mukuro had a tattoo on her right hand, if I remember correctly. A representation of Fenrir. In other words, a wolf tattoo. But I saw the right hand of the person who attacked me,
No tattoo.
and there was no such tattoo. So there's no way the person behind the mask was Mukuro.
Yeah, well, okay. You got me. I guess it wasn't her. But that still doesn't prove that it was me.
But oh yeah, true. I guess the mastermind is speaking through Monokuma, right? We don't have to. We've already confirmed that someone is controlling Monokuma, so we shouldn't think as Monokuma as an individual anymore, but just someone Like, it's a means for the Mastermind to interact with us, to talk with us. So indirectly, we're talking to the Mastermind right now.
It could have been, you know, someone else, right?
Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I all have solid alibis for that entire night.
Are we going back to this again? Didn't we go over this during the first? But if that's the entire night though. Yeah, okay, we're arguing about who attacked Makoto, right?
Yeah! We were in the gym tearing you apart, so it couldn't have been any of us.
Oh, okay, sure. It couldn't have been any of you.
And I'm the one sleeping, and Kyoko we saw her there too.
But what about Kyoko? It totally could have been her.
No.
Uh-oh, no snappy comeback. Did I score a bullseye?
And Monokuma, this doesn't make any fucking sense. Remember what you told us when we were actually in her room? Like, remember at the end of the previous chapter 5 when we went into Kyoko's room when she was still missing, together with Byakuya, and Monokuma suddenly appeared? He actually said, you know, that the reason why Kyoko is wearing gloves is because she has scars on her hands, right? That's what she's hiding. So if she were to be the person that the attacker with the mask on and everything, they had bare hands, meaning she would have taken those gloves off, and then apparently she has no scars, but you yourself said that she has scars and that's what she's hiding, so it can't be Kyoko either. So you're just... What, Monokuma? Contradicted yourself.
If you insist, I don't mind showing you.
Oh, she's gonna show her arm, hands.
Huh? Show me what?
She's gonna show it.
What do you think? I'll show you the one thing that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt it wasn't me.
Before anyone could say anything. Uh-oh. What's with her hands? Oh, what? Kyoko was removing her gloves. They look burnt or something. Or made out of wood.
Your hands!
Without thinking, I let out a gasp. It was more than just a little burned skin.
Awful, isn't it?
Yeah.
It happened when I was first learning to be a detective. I was inexperienced.
I thought you didn't want anyone to see those scars.
She probably didn't, but the fact to prove her innocence probably supersedes the fact that she doesn't want other people to see it.
If it means we get another step closer to unmasking the Mastermind, it doesn't really bother me.
Kyoko seemed to savor the words as she said them. Then she put her gloves back on. Suck on that, Monokuma.
My scars should suffice as proof. Makoto, did the person who attacked you have scars like mine?
Nope, it did not.
No, not at all. I'm positive.
Then this much has been made clear. There can be no doubt that the one who attacked Makoto is the true Mastermind.
This is just awful! On top of my secret being revealed, I had to look at those positively grotesque scars of yours!
Is there really not a time to insult people, Monokuma?
Sorry. Did I say that out loud? I do hope I didn't hurt your feelings.
Not at all. You can say whatever you want.
Sure, as long as it means pushing me farther into the corner, right? But I'm not cornered just yet.
Just yet. It'll come.
Because if you haven't noticed, the circumstances surrounding Mukuro's death are totally unknown.
That's true. All we know right now is she was killed a good while before this morning.
On the contrary, we don't know anything other than that.
You're not going to tell us she was already dead before we arrived here or something, are you?
In that regard, you have nothing to worry about.
That seems highly unlikely.
I promise you, without a doubt, she died after our little killing game began here.
then somehow she was killed in secret without any of us knowing.
But just the fact that she was here in secret in the first place, that she was living here alongside with us, came here together with us, but we haven't seen her throughout all of the 6 chapters until we saw her supposedly dead body. That's just bugging me a little bit.
And after she died, who knows how much time went by before we found her, right? Did the culprit stash her somewhere? She couldn't have been in the garden the whole time, could she?
If she was, she would have been totally decomposed. Just like your brain.
Snap, girlfriend. Suck on that, hero.
Then, she was being stored somewhere?
Oh! It could be that she was stored in the biolab, yeah?
But to hide a body here, to just store it somewhere?
It could be that it was stored because that's what those freezers do in the biolab, right? They keep it like minty fresh, like it's in permanent mint condition, like your favorite baseball cards or whatever, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Pokemon cards. So it could be that after the death of Mukuro, regardless of how it happened, when it happened, whatever, right? That it was stored in there in the freezer to just make it seem like, okay, it's just a newly, you know, just to keep the body in the best condition possible. And then whenever the time felt necessary for the Mastermind to put his plan with the body into place, he just took it out of the freezer, I guess defrosted it in a sense, and then just placed it in the garden for us to find. There's only one place. I can't think of anywhere else the body could have been stored. The pool. Alright, the biolab.
I got it! Mukuro's body was probably kept hidden in the biolab.
Biolab? You mean on the 5th floor?
Yep, you know, Toko, you were there.
That's right. It's actually set up for use as a morgue. So it's the perfect place to hide a body, and it'd keep the body preserved at the same time.
Then you're also saying the body was moved from the biolab to the garden.
And I have no doubt that that's exactly what happened. In fact, I have proof.
Proof? Proof that shows that the body was carried from the biolab to the garden. There's something that made its way from the biolab to the garden. Oh, that has to be the tarp, right? Tarp, because it has biolab on it for sure.
I got it!
I mean, that's a convenient way of carrying a
What
body
makes
too.
me so sure the body was carried from the biolab to the garden is the tarp that we found in the garden. When I was checking it over again, I noticed something. I noticed that some text had been stamped on one corner of the tarp.
Oh, it says biolab.
Holy cow! How'd you notice that tiny little thing?
I got eyes.
Makoto's nitpicky nature seems to have surfaced with perfect timing.
Seriously, Byakuya, a backhanded compliment like that?
This proves that the tarp originally came from the biolab. In fact, there's a whole stack of tarps just like it in there.
So when the killer moved the body to the garden, they must have grabbed a tarp to wrap it in. Then they simply left it as it was to protect against the sprinklers, and put the coat on it afterwards.
Wow, you made everything sound so amazingly consistent.
That's just a wild guess!
Oh, you sweating, Monokuma? It's getting hot in here, huh?
Where's your evidence? Prove that the body was wrapped in a tarp and moved!
There is no evidence. I was simply explaining what I think happened. But you seem to be getting pretty worked up about it, wouldn't you say?
Worked up?
Now that the conversation has turned to the topic of the biolab, you must be getting pretty nervous. Because the key to uncovering your secret identity is hidden within that room, isn't it?
You talking about unmasking the Mastermind?
You see, the biolab contained an inconsistency. One so major it can't be overlooked.
The number of bodies, right? An inconsistency in the biolab? With the lights, for sure. Could you be talking about...
La la la, I can't hear you, la la
such a child. Oh well, just ignore him.
I need to pull myself together and think. The inconsistency in the biolab. Could you be talking
Hey,
about...
by the way, Makoto, what about that one thing?
What one thing?
What one thing?
What do you think? I'm talking about your family.
What? Why is he bringing up, like, the first DVD that we got? What?
Don't tell me you forgot about that video message.
Oh, what? Why does it... I don't know why, but for some reason... Why does Kyoko's dad from the backside seems to match the front of our father's... how it looks? Kinda, right? I mean... I guess it's like a popular hairstyle or whatever, but I just can't help but think that this hairstyle, if you were to imagine that you see the guy in the middle, right, that is apparently Makoto's father, that if you were to look at him from behind, he would look pretty similar, if not exactly similar, to the headmaster from behind, right? Just that sort of look from behind, the back of the head with the hair. I don't know. And just for some reason, like, if I had imagined what the headmaster would look like, it would probably look a bit like this guy.
So what do you think? Are you sure your family's still okay?
Is he seriously threatening us right now? But even if it's not, like, there's nothing we can do, right?
Why are you bringing that up now?
Because he's being cornered and he's trying to fight his way out of it.
Your mom, your dad,
Oh, that's so
your
easy.
little sister. What do you think has happened to your family? Are they really as safe as you might have assumed?
Even if they are or aren't, that doesn't really matter because there's nothing we can do, right? If we say nothing here now, I guess it's just a choice of whether we... If we say nothing, then we don't spare our own lives, but then we don't know... But we have no assurance of him saying, like, okay, your family is safe or not. So... dirty tricks, Monokuma.
Stop talking about that!
Calm down, Makoto. He wants you to get upset.
Yeah, I need to calm down. I can't let him get to me. He's just saying that because he knows we're getting close to the truth of the biolab. So if I want to shut him up, I need to expose the inconsistency and slam him with it. The inconsistency has to be that one area where the numbers just don't match up. It's the light. It's just the fact that there were 9 lights lighted up instead of 10 out of the 16 possible fridges. Oh, can we seriously beat up Monica?
Are you sure about this?
This is the moment I've been waiting for.
That's impossible! What? What do you want? Are you sure about this? That's impossible! Are you sure about this? Proof! Are you sure about this? That's impossible!
Final strike!
I'm not
secret.
listening!
What? Lights! With the lights, right?
Are you sure about this? That's impossible!
Wasn't that the lights?
What? What do you want?
It's gotta be the freaking lights.
I'm not listening. This should prove
There
it.
we go. I don't know what the fuck happened there.
The inconsistency Kyoko's talking about is... the lights!
Haha, right in the heart.
What are you talking about? What about the lights?
Like I said before, the biolab also acts as a morgue. And as part of that, a giant refrigerator was installed in there. That's where everyone who's died is stored.
And it was set up so that when a slot had a body in it, a blue light would turn on.
In other words, if the blue light is on, that means there's a body in that slot.
But I counted up the number of blue lights that were on, including the one Mukuro was in.
It's 9 in total. Look, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9.
And there were only 9.
When it's supposed to be 10. Meaning that someone who has died is actually not dead. And probably is either the Mastermind or works with the Mastermind, right? I guess?
Why does that matter? You gotta give me the bite-sized version here, man.
9 lights doesn't make sense. The number of lights that should be on is 10.
I got it! 10 of the lights should have been on. Any other number is incredibly suspicious.
Suspicious? Why?
Because that means that one person that we think is dead isn't actually dead.
That's simple. Just recall who's died here so far, and it should become clear.
That's right. That's the key to solving this mystery. Sayaka first. Second was Junko. Sayaka died first. Junko was second. But Junko was killed by Monokuma though. Leon died third. Fourth was Chihiro. Fifth was Mondo. Sixth was Taka, and Fumi was 7th, yeah? 8th was Celeste, indeed. 9, Sakura, and then 10 is Mukuro. And victim number 10 was Mukuro.
So 10 people in all?
Yep.
That's right. Any other number should make you immediately suspicious. But according to the lights in the biolab, only 9 people were being stored there.
Why don't we just... Why didn't we simply just look in all the other ones? And see, you know, at the bodies. Okay, this is who, this is that.
You're saying a dead body just up and disappeared?
I got it! The Mastermind destroyed one of the bodies to get rid of evidence.
Why?
But if they wanted to do that, they would have destroyed Mukuro's body, since they actually killed her. And yet, her body was left alone.
Then, whose body disappeared?
It may very well be that none of them disappeared.
What?
But if that's true, then why doesn't the body count match?
None disappeared.
Including Monokuma's executions, there have apparently been 10 deaths, but there were only 9 bodies.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Okay.
I'm completely lost. How can the number of victims be less than the number of murders?
What? Unless someone is killed twice or multiple times? But then if you're already dead, how can you be killed again? The reason there are less bodies than murders. No, but yeah, that would relate less bodies than murders, but then what? If someone was dead, it would have to be... How can it be walking around and pretending to be... While actually being dead, pretending to be alive and then killed again? What? The explanation for more murders than victims. Why is that? What would take it for that to make sense? The Mastermind destroyed a body, only 9 murders took place. Now, we definitely saw 10 murders, the same person was killed twice. I guess, but... I don't think the Mastermind destroyed it, but that's just very inconsistent. No, I just feel like just by process of elimination, it's gotta be this one. As weird and strange as it fucking sounds. Oh, fuck it.
I got it!
Whew.
What about if the same person was killed twice?
How? How?
Huh? Killed twice?
Officially, 10 murders have been committed so far.
Yeah.
But one of the victims may have been murdered, and then murdered again.
Murdered and murdered again?
If that's the case, there could have been 10 killings, but still only 9 victims, right?
I'm not disagreeing with the fact that you know, that it adds up, that it makes sense that then the numbers sort of coincide and 10 killings, 9 victims. But I'm just wondering how that technically works, that you basically are killed twice.
Technically, you're right, I guess. But still, something like that.
Could easily have happened. No, it is what happened.
She's always so sure.
Sounds like you're already convinced. Then can you tell us who was killed twice?
It was Mukuro, of course.
Mukuro? Could be, I guess.
Before she was killed as Mukuro Ikusaba, she was killed as someone else.
Huh? Before she was killed as Mukuro Ikusaba, she was killed as someone else.
And that's why the body had to be stored in the biolab until the moment we found it in the garden.
So what they're saying is that it's... Oh, I guess I understand what Kyoko is saying. The Mukuro actually... The body of Mukuro isn't... But then what about the tattoo and stuff? But I think I was saying, like, if a person that died earlier that sort of matches the same description as Mukuro dies, they store that body in the biolab, take it out, cover it up, pretend it to be Mukuro's body, and then, you know, that's the body that we're presented with during this particular case in chapter 5 and chapter 6 now. And that's also part of the reason why they did so much trouble to cover up the body, to cover up the face, cover up the body, and, you know, make the body, even the top half of the body explode, right? That would make a lot of sense, for sure. But it has to be someone that has the same measurements and sort of the same as Mukuro then. But then what the fuck happened with Mukuro, and what about the tattoo? Unless that other person is also a member of Fenrir, but... No. Huh.
No, that's crazy talk. She was killed as someone else? Come on! Besides, who could that someone else even have been?
I don't know. But if it is, it would have to be a girl though, a woman. Because Mukuro was a woman too.
All you have to do is look at those bodily injuries of hers, and that will become obvious.
Bodily injuries.
Nothing's gonna become obvious.
What woman died with injuries? Sayaka was died stabbed. One stab though. Junko was killed multiple spears piercing through her. What was the third? That was... Then Leon died, then Mondo died. Alright, Chihiro died, Mondo died. Chihiro is a guy though, right? Yeah. Mondo died. Taka, Hifumi, all guys. And then Celeste dies. And then Sakura. Sakura, she drank poison. She had multiple like injuries, but on her head mainly. Celeste didn't have any injuries. She was burned. Like, her punishment was burned. So then once again, by process of elimination, it's Sayaka or Junko. And if it's multiple wounds, it would have to be Junko, I guess? Because Sayaka was stabbed only once with the kitchen knife, right? Junko was pierced multiple... And that's the strange thing. It's pretty Junko. That's the strange thing, right? About Junko, that Junko was murdered. If it could be all part of the plan, because Junko died in a way that was so unlike any other death, right? She died while breaking one of the rules of the regulations. It could be part of the plan that there was just, you know, that... I mean, I guess they used her body, so it couldn't... Was maybe perhaps not necessarily part of the plan, but it just was, like, very convenient for them, I guess. But just the fact... I don't know, I find it really strange that she just died in this very different way. And I guess the wound description of the Monokuma file and what happened to Junko kind of fits together. I just feel like nothing else really matches close to that, right?
Because Kyoko's totally delusional!
Let's see what the possibilities are. Monokuma file 5. Okay, we got absorb. I'm saying Junko for now, but I'm not sure.
Who is this someone else that Mukuro was killed as? Was it Sayaka Maizono? Junko Enoshima? Leon Kuwata?
Not Leon.
Chihiro Fujisaki? Mondo Owada? Kiyotaka Ishimaru? Hifumi Yamada? Celestia Lu... whatever? Or maybe... Sakura Ogami?
I really think it's...
No. There's no way anyone was murdered twice!
It's gotta be Junko, right? If you just go down by the list, it has to be a female body. Mukuro died from the wounds she had all over her body. And that's true, like, it's not just prior wounds, but actually those wounds were fatal on the body, right? It's definitely, it's multiple wounds, it has to be those... And it matches as well. It was like all in the upper body, right? The upper body was burned and like exploded with the bomb as well, of a way of perhaps covering it up. Wasn't there someone else who suffered the same sort of injury?
Who is this someone else? Was it Junko
Enoshima?
Look at that. Junko, it's
Leon
gotta be
Chihiro
Junko.
Mondo Kiyotaki Fumi Celestia?
Or maybe... No, there's no way anyone was...
No, that's wrong. Junko.
Bam!
Wasn't her fatal injury pretty similar to Mukuro's?
Junko!
What do you mean?
Well, remember what happened to her? She was impaled by a bunch of spears, all over her body.
And Mukuro died from a number of wounds across her body.
Yeah, she's the only one that matches that description, so...
When you compare that to the stab wounds Junko suffered...
Then the similarities match?
Yes, and those are the only fatal injuries that match up. That explains why those two bodies are actually one and the same.
Oh my god.
So let me see if I have this straight. Junko, or someone going by that name, was stabbed to death with multiple spears.
Yeah?
Then her body was kept in the biolab for however long before being dragged out again. Only this time, it was presented as the corpse of one Mukuro Ikusaba.
It could make sense for the fake nails as well, right? Because Junko was such a fashionista and stuff.
It all matches up, right? Those wounds Junko suffered could easily be these same injuries.
Then, it's really true? Mukuro and Junko are the same person? Wait, so then... Yeah, what does it all mean?
It means that there haven't been 10 victims, but 9. Which also means that among the people we thought were dead, one is still alive.
So Mukuro is still alive.
And that's the true identity of the Mastermind?
That could make no, I think Mukuro is part of the Mastermind. Because remember, she brought that entity with her, right? It was called the Entity. So that was in that picture of Kyoko. It definitely seemed like the connection that was there, right? The connection between Mukuro and the Mastermind, or the entity of the Mastermind. So that could make sense. So that could also make sense why I've actually never seen her. Why also why they wanted us to think that like a 16 student is here and is now dead. Because if we think that person is dead, suspicion is not gonna fall on that oh, that's the Mastermind. I mean, we thought it at some point, but then we thought that we were free, rather than thinking and think that the Mastermind is already dead, rather than thinking, you know, oh, that is the Mastermind who's still alive and still screwing in with us, and you know that we're still trapped.
Who is it? Who's behind all this?
It's gotta be Mukuro, right?
We already know the answer to that. It's Mukuro. Shh. she's still alive!
I guess so, yeah.
She took Junko's body and made it look like she was the one who died. So Mukuro is still alive. She's gotta be.
And that's why Kyoko very, somewhere in chapter 5 mentioned that Mukuro is actually ultimate despair, right? Even though on the profile it said yeah, ultimate soldier and that stuff, at some point during her time then she was she was missing, and when she would join Fenrir and all that, something happened to her, and then she came back with the entity of the Mastermind. And we think the ultimate despair is multiple people, so she is one of the ultimate despair, but she was just originally the ultimate soldier and somewhere along the line became part of the ultimate despair. And Kyoko knew that, that's why she said it. And that's why she kept saying it's not wrong, she actually is the ultimate despair. Even though we didn't have any proof for it other than Kyoko's word. But now we're getting that.
Total silence? Then I must be right. I'm right, aren't I?
For once. Mukuro alive? The one that's still alive is Mukuro. But can we really believe that? No. There's no other way. Oh, there's no way. There's no way that Mukuro Ikusaba is still alive. No? Profile, file, fatal injury.
The body we found in the garden. It wasn't Mukuro.
Then she's still alive?
That's right. She made it look like Junko's body was her. So the Mastermind's true identity is Mukuro.
What do you say, Monokuma? Do you give up?
For that to be true, then that couldn't have been her body we found in the garden. Is that really possible? It has to go back to... why else would they really emphasize her body sizes and stuff, right? It has to be...
The body
that was found in the profile.
It wasn't Mukuro.
Then she's still alive?
That's right. She made it look like Junko's body was her. So the Mastermind's true identity is Mukuro.
What do you say, Monokuma? Do you give up?
I think it's the first one.
The body it
Wasn't Mukuro.
No, that's wrong. No, the body we found in the garden was Mukuro. That's one thing we can be sure of.
Because the measurements, right? That's what Kyoko confirmed. But then Mukuro isn't alive. I don't know anymore. What?
The body's appearance and measurements are consistent with her records.
Yeah. Unless the records are fake, but I doubt that.
Right, Kyoko?
No, because the records were found at the headmaster's.
She was 5 foot 6 inches tall and weighed 97 pounds. Her vitals were 31, 21, 32. Everything in her profile is consistent with that corpse.
Okay.
And then there's the matter of the Fenrir tattoo. So there's no
Yeah.
question it's her.
But then how? What the fuck?
But if Mukuro's not the Mastermind, then who's actually still alive?
What if Junko is still alive? And the person that we thought was Junko was actually Mukuro pretending to be Junko. But why? Because that person that died there is definitely Junko, or it looks like Junko, but that person definitely has the same wounds as Mukuro. Therefore, those are the same people. The person that got stabbed with the spears is the same person, or it's the same corpse as we found in the garden. So that is the same. That's the same person. And it has to be Mukuro because of the tattoo. Meaning, Junko is then still alive, right? Right? Someone's made it look like they've died, but they're actually still alive. There's only one person it could be. Oh, it has to be Junko then. Right? I mean, the thing is we can't even pick Mukuro, she's not here, no. So it has to be Junko.
Here's my answer. Junko is still alive. It's the only possibility.
Really, Junko?
Are you sure about that?
It makes sense in my head.
Huh?
I admit, since Mukuro is undoubtedly dead, Junko does seem to be the only other explanation.
The fake nail, look at the fake nails, it's red.
But we saw her get impaled. She died right before our very eyes. If Junko were still alive, the death we saw would had to have been some kind of charade.
Unless it's Mukuro pretending to be Junko, but that's the, why? I don't understand why. The red nails
you
match.
yourself
Fake
confirmed
nails.
she was dead, did you not?
Now that you mention it, I gently placed my hand on Junko's lifeless body. I touched her wrist to check for a pulse, like they do in movies and stuff. But did not check right enough? She really is dead. There wasn't anything else to say. She was gone. I did check, absolutely, and I can say for sure.
She was dead. There's no question. Junko was dead.
So that body was dead for sure. I'm just gonna say body because we think it's not Junko, or I think it's not Junko.
So, the idea that she's still alive.
Is that it's a body that's made to look like Junko, making us think that it was Junko that died.
It must be wrong.
Then you're withdrawing your previous statement?
I know you gave it your best shot, but too bad. I guess your conclusion was a dud.
I'm not done yet.
Too bad,
It's not
too
over.
bad.
This case hasn't been decided just yet.
Oh?
I'm not on my own. Kyoko has my back.
You haven't given up already, have you, Makoto?
No, although I have no idea where to continue from here, but I haven't given up. Huh?
No, of course not. There's no way I'd give up that easy.
That's all well and good, but how do you intend to solve the problem standing in your way? Junko absolutely died. Mukuro absolutely died.
Then both of them are dead, right? There can't be any kind of survivor story.
How can... It has to be that, right? How can two bodies that we think are dead, that makes it seem like two different people are dead, but then in reality it's actually one person is still alive out of the two?
I think we need to look at this from the opposite direction.
Huh? The opposite direction?
Let's assume Junko is still alive. If so, how could she have survived?
Don't know. How would Junko have survived? I checked her. She was dead. I'm sure of it. But still, if she were alive somehow, could it be that Junko is not the one that died? It wasn't Junko, but someone else entirely? I mean, the thing was, we never saw Mukuro, right? We've always seen 15 students, but we know there's 16. So if it is just from the beginning making us think that it is Junko, but in actuality it was Mukuro, it makes sense, because then it feels like we've seen that person, we've seen Junko, even if it wasn't really her, and then we think she's dead. Meanwhile, the real Junko is just doing shit in the background and we don't see her. But we know that her person existed. Even if it wasn't her really, like it wasn't her body, it wasn't actually that person, we just knew because she saw like that, right? Oh, what? Why would Mukuro go along with that? Maybe she used some sort of trick. What trick? Hangman's Gambit? What trick? RPC. Rip. Rap. Rip. It's gotta be a vowel. Rap. Rip. Replaced? Replaced. You can try that. L. Right, it's replaced for sure. Where's E? Yeah, but how would they be replaced though? It makes sense, but I'm trying to figure out how they would pull it off.
Now I understand.
Fuck.
That's it. What if she switched places with someone else?
Switched places?
That's right. Before the spears could kill her, she got someone to take her place.
But how?
Specifically, Mukuro Ikusaba.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that it was Junko all along at the beginning, and then right before the spears hit, the body somehow got replaced, and Mukuro Ikusaba instead was hit with the spears. But why did Mukuro Ikusaba look like Junko? I get she could have been, I don't know, Mukuro Ikusaba could have been knocked unconscious or something.
Then that would make it Mukuro's corpse that showed up later.
Which is why the body's height and weight and everything match Mukuro's profile, right?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this switching places thing, but...
I mean, it sounds... The idea of it, the theory of it sounds possible, but I'm just wondering, like, how exactly would they work? How exactly did they pull it off with everyone? Because everyone was in the room, right? All 15 of us, pretty much. Well, Sayako's already dead, I believe. I'm not sure. I think she was. So how could all 14 of us, how could she make that switch without any of us noticing?
That had to be Junko who got stabbed to death, right?
Yeah, you're saying they switched? When could they even have done that? Right when she was about to die? Like she used some kind of ninja replacement technique?
Kagebunshi no jutsu.
Good point. There's just no way they could have switched like that.
It's so long ago though, but I'm trying to think if there's like a specific moment that really makes me think like, oh, like they just need 1 second maybe, right? 1 second where everyone is just like not paying attention or something. But like just a specific moment where they possibly could have done it, even if it's like really difficult, that they could have pulled it off, they played it perfectly. But like nothing comes to mind, partly because it's been so long. And it's one of those deaths where you didn't really pay much attention to, right? Because it was Junko, and you're like, she was killed by Monokuma, so you didn't pay much attention. You didn't like, you didn't investigate her body or anything like that.
So maybe the whole idea is wrong.
There has to be some way. I need to figure out how to explain how they could have switched. They switched at the moment of death. It can't be at the moment of death. After death, neither. Because that means... it can only be at the beginning, because if it's something at the moment of death or after death, that means that Junko's body is inflicted as well, right? Or, wait, they're saying since the very beginning. So kind of what I said before, that Mukuro was actually acting like Junko the entire time.
I got it! The two of them
That really is.
may have switched places from the very
Is that
beginning.
really it?
What? From the beginning?
But then again, why? Why would Mukuro do that?
Yes, from the moment we first met.
That, yeah. So the thing that I said before. But,
If that's when they switched,
that would make sense, yeah.
then they wouldn't have had to switch at the moment of death, right?
Yeah.
After all, the one we saw at that point would have already been Mukuro.
I mean, the fake nails match, that's for sure. But like, how did she cover up the tattoo then?
Hold on. So, you're saying the Junko we first met?
It's actually Mukuro. But what? I don't remember Junko wearing gloves though, but I could be wrong about that. See, that's what I mean. Like, I don't know much about her. I didn't pay that much attention to her, because it was just like a bit like, whatever. Kind of.
Is actually Mukuro all along?
I guess they look kind of similar.
Then we'd already met her?
It would seem so.
I had like a normal conversation with her.
When we first met, none of us knew who anyone else was. So Mukuro could have simply told us her name was Junko.
And we had no choice but to believe it, right?
And we never would have known the difference. That would easily allow the two of them to switch places from the very beginning.
But then again, why? Why?
Wait, but Mukuro had a tattoo on the back of her hand, right?
Was Junko wearing like those gloves, the fingerless gloves, you know? The only ones that's like cover the palm of your hands? I mean, she is sort of the fashionista, was it, or something, right? That's a fashion kind of thing to do.
Junko never had any tattoo like that, did she?
But the fake nails do match. Unless she put like a shit ton of, what was it, foundation or something? Where did I get that from? Was it from this series or another series? Oh, that was from Kindred Spirits, never mind.
She could have hidden it with foundation
Oh.
or something like that.
Yeah.
If she did, it likely melted away in the explosion, exposing the tattoo after the body was extinguished.
So the reason for that then is that this was part of the plan all along. That means Junko and Mukuro was working together with the Mastermind, I guess?
Plus, there were the fake nails found on the hands of Mukuro's body.
But why did Mukuro... Is it part of the plan as well that Mukuro sacrifices herself, that she dies? Is that part of the plan? Because how it happened, right? Mukuro attacked Monokuma, and Monokuma then killed her with the spears. But that's my question, like, was that part of the plan or not?
They were the same fake red nails she was wearing when we all met for the first time.
But if she really did use foundation...
Correct. Even if there was no tattoo on her hand, I couldn't say for certain it wasn't Mukuro. So I'm glad nobody noticed that glaring hole when we were trying to figure out who attacked Makoto.
Glaring hole?
But too bad for you, Monokuma. You can't deny it anymore.
Wait, so this whole thing was a setup from the very beginning?
Apparently.
If that's true, it was quite an elaborate plan to be sure. Making it look like Mukuro was Junko.
Yep, all the way from the beginning. Damn. Why aren't you saying anything, Monokuma? Nervous, huh?
The reason such an elaborate plan was possible is because the two of them were working together.
Yeah, that's the only possible way.
So Mukuro, the ultimate despair, teamed up with someone like her.
Yeah.
In other words, it would be fair to say that Junko herself was also the ultimate despair.
That she is also part of the Mastermind group. Aww.
What's wrong? Lost the will to fight back?
Something stuck in your throat?
I think he's just afraid.
Afraid? What's that mean, afraid? Fear is only possible where hope is possible. I only have despair, so fear is an alien concept to me.
Then why haven't you been saying anything?
Because it's a bunch of nonsense. Junko's my secret identity? As if.
Then why did you try and protect Junko's real identity?
Well,
I tried to protect her identity.
looks that way.
When did I do that?
So he still refuses to admit it. But by having her switch the bodies, right? He can try to deceive us all he wants. It doesn't matter, because I've already figured it out. He tried to hide Junko's identity, not just once, but twice. The first time was during our latest investigation. What? According to the Mukuro did not have a single scar. Initiation was 4, 5, 6, 7. Latest investigation. Does that mean at the very end? Those accounts. Interview DVD. We found Makoto diagnosis. I mean, oh, that makes sense why he interfered. Remember he said, oh yeah, the DVD's broken, blah blah blah. Bullshit, Monokuma. Bull fucking shit.
While I was in the AV room, watching the DVD
Why else
of
would
our
he
interviews
interfere?
with the
'Cause he would see
headmaster,
it there. We would see it there. It wasn't just the monitor. The DVD player itself, it apparently turned off. Which of course meant that the DVD wasn't playing anymore. What the heck just happened? And Monokuma appeared. Oopsie, looks like it broke out of service. What just so happened to break now? Yeah, he did that to stop us from seeing it. Now then, when it doesn't matter, strike and failure anytime, anywhere. That's what failure is, right?
you made sure I couldn't finish watching the video. And the reason you did that is because you didn't want me to see the real Junko, did you?
Oh, yeah! If everyone was in that video, of course Junko would have had to show up!
But we didn't see her video.
And if Makoto saw the real Junko,
Then...
it would have been totally obvious that the Junko we met was an imposter.
True. If they look very different, yeah.
That whole power outage thing was just a fluke!
Right. No, it wasn't a fluke. The Mastermind definitely orchestrated that power outage. And it's not the only time they tried to hide Junko's identity. When else? The Mastermind tried to cover up one other piece of evidence. I've gotta reveal that. What? Moment of truth? Oh, here we go again.
want? What? What do you want? Are you sure about this?
You're getting all riled up!
That's impossible! What? What do you want? What? What do you want?
Final strike.
That's impossible!
Photo. Group photo. Interview DVD. Group photo.
I'm not listening! What are you even talking about?
It's gotta be the group photo, I think.
That's impossible!
This should prove it. The video wasn't the only thing you tried to cover up. You did the same thing with this group photo.
Haha. Busted.
I noticed it just a little while ago, when we were all comparing the photos we'd gotten. In all the photos, there's a certain similarity, an unusual circumstance.
What's so unusual about them?
Unusual circumstance common to all these pictures. Let me see. Oh, we never see her face. We never see her face. It's always the back or it's covered. Unusual circumstances in Mukuro's face. We see Mukuro. We see Mukuro in the picture. We never see Junko. Junko, we just see her hair. We see like, oh yeah, that looks like Junko, but we never see her face. So we always covered up her face.
I got it! Junko's face. The one thing common to every single photo is that you can't see her face.
Yep, splashed with water. Where turned her back around on the left side. Turned her back towards Celeste at the right side, and there the arm is covered by Taka.
It's hard to believe her face would just happen to be hidden in every single picture, don't you think?
But that then means that those pictures were definitely taken with the intent of giving them to us. Remember what I sort of jokingly said, like, oh yeah, they have a bunch of pictures, like an entire album full of them, and they just, you know, happen to pick out the ones that didn't have that person that's blah blah at the beginning of the class trial, right? But this seems that they were definitely taken with the purpose of giving this, so everything about this was fucking planned out. It has to have been. Unless Junko never shows her face, or she was just given a task, like, okay, we're going to be making pictures throughout all of this. But that once again means that this was all planned beforehand, before even bringing us, or while we were brought here, but before this entire game was played. It was all planned out, and it just gave Junko, the real Junko, the what you call it, the task of just like, okay, whenever we're going to be taking a picture or something, just never show your face, just always turn your back. And they made multiple pictures, and then they picked out the one, yeah.
And on top of that, in this photo, you can see that Mukuro is clearly visible. So in other words, at that point, the two of them hadn't switched yet. With all that in mind, there's no doubt that the girl whose face is hidden here is the real Junko.
Yeah.
Which is why you had to have pictures that didn't show her face. Because if we could have seen her face, then it would have clearly revealed that the Junko in the pictures wasn't the Junko that we knew.
Xanadu!
I believe everything Makoto said is true. Junko and Mukuro switched places before we met either of them.
So she killed Mukuro, who had taken her place, making it look like she'd died. And the real Junko is still alive.
Damn.
And she's the one behind this whole murderous situation. this killing game. She's the true mastermind and the ultimate despair.
Xanadu times 2!
Haha.
With this, the identity and the crimes of the mastermind have been exposed.
I guess this is only one part of it, right? This is only like the murder of whatchamacallit? The murder of Mukuro, and not yet the school secrets. So I guess it'll be explored later on.
No, wait! Hold on!
Don't bother trying to deny it. There's no more room for debate. You don't have anywhere left to run. I'll prove everything, right now.
Right here. Oh yeah, closing argument. Actually, love this. Alright. So let's see. This is all the way from the beginning. This is of the entire freaking story, basically. Right? Alright, something with masks and shit. Okay, so Act 1. That's the introduction. Like, hi, I'm Junko. Junko dies. That's actually Mukuro. The mask. Oh. Sleeping. The bomb, yeah, that's the mask. Alright. Fire the corpse in the biolab. Let's see. I guess this one? Because here's like meet and greet and like, hey, hi, I'm Junko, but nope, in actuality I'm Mukuro. That's Act 1. Act 2 is Junko attacks Monokuma. She dies, but it's actually Mukuro dying, yeah. Act 3, the body gets brought. This is probably Junko then, right? Junko then brings the body of the body that looks like herself, but is actually Mukuro. She brings it into the freezer, into the biolab. So something with biolab? That's not anything like that. This one? No, puts it in here. Or not. Or this one. Is it this one? Or this one? Oh no, wait, he's actually pulling it out here, right? Pulling it out. Yeah, okay, he's pulling it out. Not this one. Because here he checks in the biolab, pulls it out, carries out, takes away the tarp, and then just reveals the whole body. That's the end of Act 3. Act 4, someone puts on the mask, most likely Junko. Grabs the survival knife, I think. Grabs the survival knife. Sees the opportunity to kill. And then he's gonna try and kill us, but Kyoko interfered, I think. Is it this one? Sees, interferes. I think. Here she spots it. And here she but she's just standing in the distance there though. That's the killer. What else is that? I don't think this one has anything to do with it. I think this seems right. Takes the mask, so that's Junko's body, or actually Mukuro's body, dressed as Junko, right? Puts on top the mask, as well as the lab coat. Yeah. I think. Yes. Act 5. Wait, Toko's here. I guess that's when we found the body? This is when we found the body. Not this one. This isn't even in this freaking class trial. Or this murder case. Yeah. So we all found the body. The Mastermind saw it on the monitors. Toko tries to rip the mask off. It goes kaboom because of the bomb. Mastermind is like, yes, ha 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 ha. And then the body is that. I think that's good. Let's try. We'll fix it if anything's wrong. Hi.
We met the ultimate fashionista, Junko and Oshima, right after we all arrived here. But that wasn't the real Junko. The girl we saw before us was actually the 16th student who had taken Junko's place. And that girl's name was Mukuro Ikusaba. But it wasn't long before she died at the hands of Monokuma. In other words, the Mastermind, Junko and Oshima.
Well, that's my question. That's the thing that I wonder. Like, is this part of the plan or not that she dies? I guess so. It had to have been, but why would Mukuro sacrifice herself like that? Takes out the body.
Her body was kept in a biolab, which had been converted into a morgue. Until Junko decided to put her body to use. Junko dragged the body out of the biolab, using the tarp to carry her to the garden.
Dun, dun, dun.
She fabricated the murder to try and frame Kyoko, who'd proven to be one big thorn in her side. Meanwhile, she wanted us all to think Mukuro was still alive and hiding somewhere inside the school. So she put on a mask and then attacked me. After making sure I'd gotten a good look at the mask, she left the room. Then she put the same mask on Mukuro's body. This was all to make us think the person who attacked me and the corpse were one and the same. She wanted us to believe the murder had only recently taken place. Finally, by strapping a bomb to the body, she was able to destroy any remaining evidence. She needed to hide the body's true identity. She had to make sure we didn't find out it was actually the same person we'd met in the beginning. This is the truth behind Mukuro's murder. And the one who carried it all out is the true mastermind. The one controlling Monokuma.
Junko and Oshima.
The real Junko and Oshima.
Like, okay, the thing is, we don't know much about Junko, right? That's for sure. We don't know much about Junko, but it'll probably clear it up later as well. But at this point, I just find it really, like, everything, it makes sense, right? It makes sense. Everything is like really tightly wrapped and just like, yeah, okay, this is Junko. Evidence seems to point at her, but I'm like really interested in Junko's like real identity and how exactly she's all wrapped up in this being the mastermind. Like, from what we know, she's a 20-something-year-old girl, I guess, or something, right? Why would she be the mastermind? Why is she behind all of this? Why is she doing this? But that's part of the school's mystery, right? So that's something that I guess we'll get answers to later. But I just find it a little bit strange, because, I don't know, just for someone to do it, the way that she looks doesn't really seem to match it, of course, but yeah, looks can be deceiving.
That's the whole story behind this incident. Well, what do you have to say to that?
Wow.